All right. I think I'm live. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm live. All right. All right. Well, good. Well, I don't know. Happy lunchtime, depending on where you're at. Maybe happy lunchtime, maybe happy late morning, maybe happy morning for those of you out in the West Coast. One of you already hit the like button. You're right on the ball. All right. Well, right now I'm seeing 3 people here. Hopefully more show up. Not that I expect a lot. I know I didn't give anybody a heads up on this one. Hey, there we go. 23. Okay. Super Batong. All right, that would make sense. You're. It's nice. It's Saturday morning for you. It's 9 o'clock there in the morning. That's what I was thinking. This one maybe I'll get quite a few people from the West Coast. Those out in the Pacific time zone. But yeah. Good morning. Do I sound okay to people? Mic wise, audio wise. I'm a little bit further back from the mic than normal. That way, because I don't want to be hunched over the entire time. But if I sound all right, if you don't mind, let me know in the chat. Bo sounds good, and good morning. Okay, perfect. And also just out of curiosity, where are people's locations at? I know Super Batong's in California. Where are you at, Bo? And anybody else? If you just want to let me know where you're located, I'm curious. Where would people be at? Because right now I'm thinking, I don't know, is this even a smart thing to do at noon on a Saturday? Have most people moved on with their day, or are people still around right now? All right, so Bo's in Indiana. Okay, so for him it's what, 11? So still, I guess, late morning. And then I guess nobody else wants to tell me where they're located. Come on. Oh, okay, Ian's in the UK. That's interesting. San is in California. Daniel's in Utah. Shane is also in Indiana. Okay. Yeah. So, what time would it be in the UK? UK is probably like early evening now. That's what I was thinking. Is on Saturday, maybe the best times are either like truly the morning, or like some sort of later evening. But if it was later evening, I don't think Ian would be here. He'd probably be in bed. But if it's early morning, like Eastern time zone wise, then yeah, maybe Super Batong wouldn't be here because he's in California. So, yeah. All right, well, we will hop in. The way this works is this is all viewer driven. So, and if you have I have kids already been up for 5. Gotcha. Well, this is, like I said, if you have a request for a stock chart, for futures chart, for forex chart, for a crypto chart, if you have questions about prop firms, because we do during the Monday through Friday, I'm a day trader that day trades futures through a prop firm, so sometimes people have questions about that. Because I will say that if you are in the category of a day trader, and I can mathematically show you how, but if you're in the category of day trader, so I'm not talking about swing traders, I'm not talking about investors, but in the category of day trader, day trading futures through a prop firm is definitely the most efficient way to go about it. Michael's in Texas. Hey man, So like I said, that's just all to say that if that does wait, could you explain more? Or if so if you're interested in learning all about that, more about the most efficient way to day trade, then yeah, we can talk about that too. Did you hear about the prop firm hack? Oh boy. No. But I'll tell you right now, I'm already quite skeptical. Hey man, I got a question. Will it open up or down or up Sunday night UK time? Will it open up, down, or up? I asked Matt. I don't know what you're asking. Will it open up, down, or up Sunday night? I think I don't. Maybe got a little too many extra words in there. I'm not quite sure. B Wigs. You day trade out. Yeah, day trading options is a very bad idea. Mathematically provable bad idea. Correct, Ben. The futures market is closed on Saturdays. It will open back up tomorrow, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. But yes, day trading options, very, very inefficient way to go about it. Not saying you can't make money day trading options, but it's you are the epitome. You are like the gold standard of working harder than you actually have to. I don't know what company got hacked. I use Take Profit Trader, and I haven't heard anything from Take Profit Trader, so I'm assuming it's not them. Will the NASDAQ 100 go up or down when it next opens? Well, what do you think, Matt? What are your thoughts on that? So, anyways, did I be Wiggs? Am I understanding right? You are day trading options? Because all you said was day trade options question mark. So I don't know exactly the full context or what you meant by that. But yes, Matt. I have no idea. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if it's going to open next up or down. And really, I don't care because I'm a day trader. So I'm not holding anything right now. So whether it opens up or down is irrelevant to me because I'll start to make my decisions after it does open. So that is the nice thing about being a day trader is you don't have to worry about, the ups or downs. Where's it going to actually open up? I don't care. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, Matt. I have more than a rational thought, Matt. But to your point, I think up, although Elon and Trump could send it down. So yeah, exactly. Up or down. Who knows? Exactly. But I'm just saying that from a day trader standpoint, it just doesn't matter to me. Do I think it will? I don't care. I don't care. Because I am the only person that really cares about that stuff is swing traders. Because swing traders can be like, hey man, I got a trade on right now, and this drama for the next week or however long it lasts might affect my swing trade. But if you're an investor like me in the investment category, yeah, I'm sure this stuff's not going to matter 30 years from now. Or if you're in the day trader category, you're like, well, who cares where it opens up? Like, we'll see where it opens up, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so the reason really quickly why day trading options doesn't make any sense, mathematically speaking. Now, a lot of people do it because they don't have a whole lot of money, and they know because options can move and move pretty quickly. Hey, that's a great way for me to take a smaller amount and then grow it into a larger amount. But yeah, the reason why options doesn't make sense is that, so right here, this is exactly why. When you buy an option, I know some of you have seen this before, but it's a very good question. And part of the live stream, I want to educate people. I want people to know what's going on and just explain things. So if you buy an option and it goes up, well, that's the obvious way. Well, you made money. You bought something, it went up, you made money. If you buy an option, it goes down, well then, yeah, you lost money. But what happens if it goes sideways? Now, the normal person can say, well, that's the neutral part. It doesn't go up, doesn't go down. And think about it, anything that you buy, could be an option, could be a stock, could be a piece of real estate, could be a Pokemon card. But anything with values, three things can happen. It can go up, it can go down, it can go sideways. In the world of options, though, you would be wrong to take the rational position of, well, it's neutral. Doesn't go up, doesn't go down. No, in options, you also lose money if it goes sideways. Why is that the case? Well, there's something called theta. And when you stop and think about it, of the three things that can happen in the world of options, two of those three things cause you to lose money, meaning you have a 67% chance of losing money every time you buy an option in the day trading realm. Once more, but clearly, I make money day trading options. It's not an argument against not being able to make money. It's an argument of efficiency. And if you can make money, if you are making money as a day trader of options, that's super impressive. Like seriously, well done to you. That is awesome. But my question to you would be this. Could you imagine how much more money you would have made? Could you imagine how much more money you would be making if you didn't have to deal with theta right here? If there was no theta? And that is why I would say, that you're considering it, day trading futures through a prop firm is the best way to go about it. And one of the good reasons for futures, which is so we talk about Pam's plan here, but the reason, one of the great things about futures, again, which is what Pam's is arguing for, is this right here. You get to say goodbye to theta. You get to say goodbye to that thing that will cause sideways action to actually work against you. So right there, it really makes no sense to be taking on a 67% chance of losing money every time you trade when there is a better alternative, and that being day trading futures. But again, you want to be day trading futures through the prop firm. Do not just go in futures because of this right here. Futures move, and oh boy, they will make options day trading look like nothing. They make options trading look like paint drying because they can move, which is why you want to do it in a prop firm, because there's very little capital required and you have that risk control of protecting your own money. So you could get started with a prop firm right away, and you could be a day trader too. With the nice thing about futures is there's no pattern day trade rule, so you can make as many day trades as you want every single day. But ultimately, $105 is all you need. That would give you $25,000 in purchasing power. And then again, that gives you access into the futures market, but your risk the entire time is only $105 because that's all you spent on the account itself. And because of the nature of futures and how they can move very quickly, especially if you're a beginner, you definitely want to have that insulation of risk protection, which again, your total risk, assuming you did the 25K account now, if you did, let's say the 75K for example. So now you have 75,000 worth of purchasing power. Your total risk would be $171.50. Much better than the thousands of dollars that could be at risk if you just use your own money. But good question. Again, does anybody have any requests for charts on stocks or futures or cryptos or forex? This is all viewer driven. Like I said, if people want to ask about prop firms, stuff like that, that's what Matt threw a question, and then B Wiggs asked the question. So that's how we ended up on that topic. But yeah, this is very. And if there aren't any really interactions or requests, then we can always just call it good. Let's see. What about? Oh, you already. Yeah, you could trade the. Yeah, exactly. San, how come you? So what is this hack? San shows up, says, "Did you hear about the prop firm hack?" And oh, I'm sorry. He meant the hack. It's yeah. Never mind. IESC. All right, let's take a look at IESC. I don't know. IESC. Clay, your course costs too much. Well, sorry to feel that way, Ahmed. But I would argue it's actually very cheap given all that you get with it. I would say it should be more, especially if you go and look at the cost of college. Look at the cost of college, Ahmed, and don't even do just do a community college. Look at the cost of community college, where you get a degree for something that maybe will get you a job, and even if you get a job, there's a ceiling on how much you can be made. This ceiling being called a salary. So. Yeah, I would respectfully disagree, Ahmed. Understood. Thank you for your clarity. Yeah, welcome, B-Wigs. Let me know if you have any more questions on it. But yeah, again, mathematically speaking, day trading options doesn't quite make sense. During the test phase, do you paper trade the market live? No, it's in a simulated environment, but it's with real market data. It's real market data just in a simulated environment. But yeah, no, the company's not like making up their own data or anything like that. That would be super sketchy. It is real-time, actual market data. But yes. Yeah, well, let me put it this way, Michael. Take Profit Trader, who I use and who I recommend. That's how they do it. But yes, if you do see a prop firm and they're like saying that they we come up with our own charts, we come up with like our own little data, I would say run the other way, because that opens up the day for some sketchiness. Vic Med, people, it's an investment on yourself. Stop looking at the cost. We know money doesn't grow. Yeah, that's what I try to tell people, Vic. But whenever like, Clay, your stuff costs too much. It's like, have you not looked at the cost of college? Like, what are you talking about? How much you make from TPT last month? Enough to make it worth my time. Hey, Fishin' Mike, good to see you. Mr. D, thanks in advance. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this one right here, I would agree, is indeed a breakout. Let's so back who asked that? I'm sorry. Oh, Mr. D. Yeah, Mr. D. I agree. This is a breakout right there as of Friday. Now, I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but just a couple things to notice about this breakout. I want to call it the most confidence inspiring because look at the volume on it. Not the greatest volume. Now, had this breakout volume or had this breakout candlestick right here had that kind of volume, now we're cooking. So again, that doesn't mean that this is not going to be a true breakout. No guarantees, but just from strictly a volume analysis standpoint, ideally you want to see higher volume on the breakouts, not lessening volume. So from that angle, this is kind of a bizarre looking chart because the volume was even lower than where it was right there. So again, doesn't mean that it's not going to get more continuation. But yes, as of right now, it is a breakout. What do I have a whole lot of confidence in it? I don't because of the volume situation. But again, it's not like a breakout absolutely has to have higher volume in order to work. So, but yeah, so that's it right there. And then if we look on the 30-minute real quick. On the 30-minute. So this is a very low volume stock, though. I mean, yikes! Look at the. So I'm assuming this must be some sort of swing trader investment. There's no way you're day trading this thing. But yeah, right now 50 period simple moving average doing a good job as support. Again, if you have a request for a stock chart, futures chart, a forex chart, a crypto chart, let me know and I'll get to it. Now's the time before the requests start to pour, and then you got to wait. Or if you have a question about futures day trading or prop firm trading, since that's what we do mainly here. But yeah, on Saturdays we open it up to just taking chart requests for whatever you're holding for a month. All right, so a swing trade for you then. But yeah, you got the breakout here. Ahmed, how about you go buy my course and then you can learn how to analyze Bitcoin yourself? Do that, Ahmed. That'd be a good move for you. Imagine this, Ahmed, that you actually make an investment into yourself and you're like, you know what? I don't even need to know it. Like, I know how to analyze things completely on my own. Like, I don't need to go ask other people. Imagine that, Ahmed. Imagine how nice that would be. Dog. Yeah, I don't think Webull, which my software, I don't even know what that is. I assume that's some sort of like meme coin. I am asking for a request, but when a request comes from the guy that is like, your course costs too much, it's like, okay, well, that tells me that you're not, I don't, you see the irony there, Ahmed? That's what I'm trying to point out. There's a little bit of comedic irony. But yeah, random, I don't even know what that is. I thought that was Dogecoin at first. But yeah, Webull. So let me put it this way. If you're going to ask for a crypto, it's got to be something that's, somewhat reasonable, because Webull, my software here, does not have like every single Tom, Dick, and Harry of the crypto space out there. Let's go take a look at just some of the overall markets. So I kind of like to check this. So let's just start with the SPY here. All right, so SPY did actually Hey, Ian, that's how you request stuff. NVTS as day trade. Good. Way to provide that extra context. On your trades, I saw you go with 3 contracts, and then you changed the contract size to 1, and then created 3 separate stops at different prices. No, I didn't create stops. I created sell points. But I guess you could do stops. You could put 3 separate stop losses out there. Yeah. Yeah, you could buy 5 contracts, and then you could go click and like, all right, now let's sell 1 here, let's sell 1 here, let's sell 1 here, and so on and so forth. Ian, why, out of curiosity, why are you day trading NVTS? What are your thoughts on why choose to day trade stocks such as that? What's your rationale? I think I may have a more efficient way to go about your trading. But yes, the overall markets. That. To be fair to Ahmed, he has dropped me super chats. So Ahmed, how much do you think, Mike? How much should it cost? What's your thoughts on Gaza? What? Okay, you tell me how that has anything to do with economics and money, and I'll answer that. My thoughts on Gaza. If you can tell me how that has any relevance to the world of economics, money, trading, investing, then I'd be happy to give you my thoughts. But yeah, so the overall market, so SPY had a good week. We are now up over both these areas of resistance that I mapped out in last week's Saturday live stream. So we'll get rid of those. Actually, I'm going to change this now to green just based on the foundation rule and charting that when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. Because right now, nothing can go straight up. But if the price were to come down here to 590.70 and then bounce, what would you have? You'd have a low right there. You'd have a low right there. You'd have a low right there. Yes, technically you'd have lowers then, but just in this near term range. So then what do you have? Well, if you envision those as stair steps, you have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So even if this upcoming week we pull back a little bit, from a technical standpoint, I'm not, and again, from a broader viewpoint, I'm not seeing anything really wrong just because nothing can go straight up. Now, if it comes down here and breaks down through there, is that the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world. But that's what I would call the ideal level, meaning, what make this chart, what make the overall markets look the best moving forward, the most attractive moving forward would be to stay above that. Free Palestine question. Again, I'm asking you, how does this topic of Gaza and Palestine, what is its relevance towards either money, economics, trading, or investing? If you can tell me how your question and how this debate tactic has any sort of relevance, because that's what we talk about here. Trading, economics, money. So I guess I'll turn this into from an economic standpoint, and I don't know who the answer this would be, but I believe that whatever side can turn Palestine into an economic thriving place would be the side I'm on. Again, and I don't know who would argue for who on that, but that from an economic standpoint, given we talk about economics, then when I ask you about, you didn't ask me anything. What answer did I give you? What did I give you a cocky answer for? You said my course cost too much, so I gave you something else to talk about, and then I don't know what other thing you gave me about. But yes, that'd be my order. Whatever side can create and turn Palestine into an economic thriving place, that's who I think should have it. There we go. But again, I don't know what side that would be. Because I don't know a whole lot. But if we keep it within topic here, that would be my answer. SPY gonna go up next week. Always. You think it's going to go up, Super Vitag. Let's keep things intellectually humble around here. You think it's going to go up next week. Clay, I'm absolutely new to trading. Awesome. Welcome. I have no idea what you're doing. Well, hey, that comes with the territory. The good news, we all start off in that spot. When you are brand new to something, you have no idea what's going on. But I feel smart watching this. Hey, this is a genuine question. Don't wars affect the stock market or something? Oh, yeah, wars do. Yeah, they do. But that's not, because what he's trying to do, he's trying to pit, am I, because there's a raging debate, whose side are you supposed to be on in all this? But yes, generally speaking, wars do affect things. But hey, I still answer the question. I'm kind of proud of myself in an economic way. I am all for the team that will turn Palestine into an economic thriving place. So, but I also went down the middle road because I didn't say who I thought that would be. I just said, hey, whoever you think is going to turn Palestine into a place of economic thriving, then that's who I'm for. All right, Amar Kuhana, let's please don't turn me into your slave. Pick one of those. If you want any more, then you can start dropping some $5 super chats. But yeah, there are other people here, so you drop in four tickers. You know for sure. Oh, Braid. Okay, you're one of those guys, huh? Amar Kudanas. Then yeah. Let's see. I don't think the one guy ever. Ian, did you ever answer my question? Like, what attracted you to wanting to day trade NVTS? No, I guess what I'm asking is, Ian, why are you day trading those types of stocks? Like, have you ever heard of futures? Let me ask you that. Maybe that's why. But yes, back to the SPY here. Good week, and next week I will say it's a totally fine week as long as it stays above 590.70, even if it drops. Now, the thing where I would say things start to get a little sketchy is if things drop below, or if the price drops below the 200-day simple moving average, and then I would say things get extra sketchy is if the price drops below the 50-day simple moving average. Now, I don't think that's going to happen next week. I'm just saying that staying above here would be great, but by no means required. Staying above here would certainly be preferable. And then the purple line is kind of the do or die level where it's like, all right, are things kind of unraveling a little bit? But as of right now, are we about to enter into one of these little grinds again? I don't know. That was kind of a grindy week, slow and steady. That was a little bit more of not a little. Even right now, yeah. Are we in the bit of more of a grind? We're just going to grind all the way up to that's which I mapped out previously in another live stream. 609.70 will be the next key battleground if we keep grinding up. Well, yes, you can do MD. You can do futures in Fidelity or Schwab, but I would say don't do that because if you're doing it in Fidelity or Schwab, then you are using your own money. And using your own money in futures trading, in my opinion, is pretty inefficient from a risk standpoint. Let me do something real quick so we can see. So good. And the Batong said he was also wanting to get into futures. But the reason why using your own money, very, very inefficient, and quite frankly, very, very scary. Again, PAMS here is the argument for why you should be day trading futures because futures offer a lot of stuff. But if all you do is PAMS and you don't do plant, so like I'm not going to do PAMS plant, I'm just going to do PAMS, I'm going to day trade futures because one of these reasons stands out to you. Well, this is what makes it very, very dangerous and why I would not tell you to do futures. So if you're like, yeah, I'm a beginner or I've never done futures before, but I'm going to use my own money, I would say no, then don't do it. Because they move. And I'm telling you, they move quick. Anybody in here that does day trade futures will back me up and say, yes, futures, they move. You may be trading low float, small cap stocks. You may be trading stocks like NVTS and, oh man, what are you talking about? NVTS has been going all over. Yeah. No. Futures make NVTS, futures make any low float penny stock, any short squeeze look like paint drying. Because futures move and that the way they're structured in terms of how gains and losses add up, or go against you, like I said, they move. And that's why they're great. Because as traders, as day traders, that's what we want. We want movement. So do not do PAMS. PAMS plant is very, very important, which is day trade futures through a prop firm. Because with a prop firm, you get that added risk control and you have your own money protected. So as far as what platform, what am I using? Because somebody just asked that. Oh wow, Ahmed! I guess I got Ahmed upset. He doesn't like the. He doesn't like He doesn't like the cost of the. He just lost his. See, that's not weird. People, you don't give people hands out, and then they just lose their mind. And Ahmed, I didn't even say which way or the other. I just said whoever. What do I think about the whole Palestine Gaza? I think I want Palestine. I want Gaza. I want that to be in the hands of whoever can create an economic, thriving environment. That's all I'm saying. That's all I said. I didn't say who that would be. You could. I'll leave that up to you to debate. What side you think would create that? But please, brother, I think you're losing your rational part of your brain. You're too much in the emotional one right now. Well, again, Pam's plan. This is not Ian. This is not an argument that you can't make money day trading other things. It's an argument of you're being inefficient. Yeah, the problem, Ian, though, is that all it's going to take on one of those, people are profitable on penny stocks until they're not. Because it takes one or two of getting stuck in a halt or getting rug pulled or something crazy, or maybe just because you're a human being, you have one of those days where you have a bad day. You break some rules, which cause you to break some more rules. And then with penny stocks and all that, things can spin out of control in a hurry. And then you're looking at all your gains are lost. What about the payout horror stories? Well, that's why I don't sit here and recommend any prop firm. I recommend a specific one, which is Take Profit Trader, because they pay. And they pay very quickly. So, what platform do somebody asked earlier. I apologize. Who asked? Super Baton? No. Oh, Mr. D asked. Okay. So, the way it works and what I do. So, this is what I do is I am day trading futures through a prop firm, though, because I want that extra risk protection and all the benefits that it gives. So, the way it works is this. My platform is this that I use. Is step one, you would go to Take Profit Trader. That's the link at the top of the screen. It's also, I have it pinned at the top of the chat box. You would go there, and you would, then step number one is you got to select the purchasing power that you want. What kind of purchasing power? After you select that, they're going to ask you, okay, well, what platform, what broker do you want to use? And I use Tradovate. Now, the key thing here is this. You do not, I repeat, you do not need to go to Tradovate's site and create a profile and create an account with them. You get to skip that headache-inducing step because the prop firm, again, in this situation, what I'm doing, Take Profit Trader, they go and they do all that for you. Then they'll send you your login information. Then you go to Tradovate and you get logged in. And then that is where, you can set up your platform and, they will be your broker. And I do have this video right here on how to do all that if anybody's interested. So not that the way I have mine set up is the way to go about it. But, sometimes a new platform can be a little intimidating. Okay, how do things work? But so this will just give you kind of some or some guide rails in terms of how certain things work. But that is how it works from as far as what platform am I using, what broker am I using. It's a twofold question. Fold number one is I'm using a prop firm. Again, that prop firm being Take Profit Trader. So select the purchasing power that you want. And then during the next step is where they'll ask you, okay, now what platform do you want to use through us as the prop firm? And then that's where Tradovate comes into play. Does that make sense, Mr. D? And also Baton, does that make sense? So Ian, is Ian? What is going on? How somebody can go from like what I thought is a totally rational person to saying, Clay, you're a former slave master. What? Anyways, moving on. Yeah, Alpine. I don't, Alpine trader, very good futures trader out there. I think he would agree with Pam's plan. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but yeah, what we do around here, Alpine, I'm trying to convince people of Pam's plan. As a former day trader of stocks and options, day trading stocks, options, Forex, crypto, garbage compared to day trading futures. But because of this, futures can be very, very dangerous because, oh boy, they move. That's why I'm not arguing for Pam's, I'm arguing for Pam's plan. because you want to get that added risk control in there. So back to Ian, you're trading NVTS or you're trading penny stocks. That's fine. But here's the problem. Let's look at a situation here. So, whoops. So Ian, I hope you're still here. But Ian, let's say that you're in a, yeah. But let's say you're in a movement here, Ian. I don't know. Let's just go right here. Okay. So we have the same exact situation. You're in, either your penny stock or you decide to do Pam's plant. Crazy movement happens. Okay. In your real money account, Ian, if that crazy move happens, and we're gonna say the quote unquote crazy move happening or bad day happening because you break rules, but just the crazy day, whether that's something out of your hands because of a Trump tweet or something in your hands where you broke rules, you FOMO'd, you lost your mind. We've all had our lost our mind days, whatever it is, but that just equates to a $2,000 loss. Now, in your world, Ian, right now with penny stocks, that is literally $2,000 out of your pocket. Like that's $2,000 gone. In the world of prop firm trading, the consequences are you do lose that account. You violated the rules, therefore they will take the account away from you. But does that actually mean you lost $2,000? It doesn't. You only lost what you paid for the account, which was $119. So your actual monetary risk is $119. But what you're doing right now, using your own money for everything, is, well, no, your monetary risk actually was $2,000. And mathematically speaking, that's why I say Pam's plan is mathematically provable. Mathematically speaking, from an efficiency standpoint, it is way more efficient if you're going to have just a bad circumstance. Again, bad circumstance being defined as $2,000 loss. It is way more efficient for it to not actually be a $2,000 loss, but rather a $119 loss. So that's why, again, that you say you're making money with penny stocks. Great. That's why Pam's plant is not an argument that you can't make money day trading other things. It's an argument of efficiency. You are being inefficient doing all those other things. Because here's just one way the math works, is from the risk protection. That's why we have it right here. That's why part of it is right there. You get the added risk control with the prop firm. How? Because you protect your own money. How do you protect your own money? Because as you just saw right there, you're putting very little of your money actually at risk. Now, very quickly, because I know some of you that are probably business minded, you're like, wait a second, Clay. How is this a viable business model? What are you talking about? How can you give this company $119 and then they're going to go let you lose $2,000 of their own money? Good, fair. That's fair. Very good eye on your part, because the way prop firms work, this test phase and everything like that is happening in a simulated environment. Because, well, they're testing you out. They're seeing, do you know how to trade? Then after you show that you can trade and you move into the pro accounts, some call them funded accounts, well, then that's where you start to be able to make money and, you keep the money and all that sort of stuff. But this is all happening in a simulated environment. So on the flip side, I've had a couple people get upset like, wait a second, Clay. So I'm going to make them $3,000. So I have to pay $119 to make them $3,000. And all I get is, hey, here's your pro account. That's all I get is my pro account after paying money to make them Well, again, this is all a simulated environment. There was not actually $2,000 lost. There was not actually $3,000 made. So just as, like I said, throw that out there for those of you that are more so business. Like, wait a second. Is this a scam? This doesn't seem viable here. That's how it is viable. And also why I like Take Profit Trader, because within their business model, you can see that it is a viable long-term model, because they will eventually throw you into a live account. So that way, if you keep crushing it and making money, then it's literally the market that is paying you, not out of their pocket anymore. So that's really why I love Take Profit Trader. Just from a business model standpoint, it is a sustainable business model. As you know, there is a true path to live money, which from their end, that means that nothing else is coming out of their pocket. In fact, you're now helping them out, because they get to keep 90% of, or I'm sorry, no, they don't get to keep, you get to keep 90% of your gains. They keep 10%. So hopefully that all makes sense to people. But yeah, I don't know if Ian's still here, but Ian, I hope that makes sense to you in the sense of the efficiency of risk, if you will. Clay, don't be confused. You made your stance clear. Yeah, good. I'm glad I made my stance clear. I am on team whoever will turn that place into the most economically viable spot. That is correct. Oh my god, you don't mind stealing and yeah, that's like that's a very circular logic. Like here in the United States, we stole land from that tribe. Okay, well let's go through the history. Did that has that tribe always owned that land, or did they get it from another tribe? And then that tribe, did they get that? Have they always been, or did they get that from another tribe? Like you just deduce it down to like who exactly are you supposed to like Ahmed? Like if you want to do that, where do you live, Ahmed? By the way, because I would contest this using that sort of logic. We all live on stolen land, therefore we must be okay with stealing land because we live on it. So I mean, poor logic, Ahmed. Like I said, Ahmed, get back into the rational part of your brain right now. Right now, you're arguing emotionally. And they let you keep 5 live accounts. Yeah, good point, Alpine. Alpine, let me if you're still here, Alpine. Because I'm only into this since November. Why? What is your opinion? Like, do you? I guess question number one: do you trade gold? And if not, why are so many people? It seemed like into gold. Like I've lost count of how many people have stopped by the live stream and asked, "Hey, do you trade gold? I trade gold." And it's like, am I missing something? To me, the NQ, the ES, they move so much better compared to gold. But like, as somebody that I know you have a lot more experience than I do, am I missing something? What am I missing with this whole gold? It seems like there's a gold obsession out there. Like way more people are trading gold than what I don't know. I don't know. So does gold actually move really good or something? It's good. Yeah, it's just poor logic. I mean, because that's literally going to deduce to everybody is okay with stolen land because we all live on stolen land. No, I feel gold seems liquid and the moves are just not smooth for me, especially. Yeah, exactly. That's. It seems like it's so choppy and not smooth, and it's like again from an efficiency standpoint, efficiently we want smooth stuff. So why people like try to just they like won't abandon gold? It's like no, I'm sticking with gold. It's like why? There's more smoother. Another way you can say smoother is efficient. There's more, efficient ways out there, such as the NQ or the ES stuff like that. But okay. Regardless of using your own cash or prop firm, risk management should be implemented in the plan before taking any trade. That's true, Ian, but let me ask you this. Are you proclaiming to be the perfect trader, the flawless trader? Perfect and flawless being defined as you never ever break rules. You never ever have any one of those days where you're undisciplined. I don't think that's your claim, but let me just make sure. Is it your claim that you are a flawless person that never makes mistakes with your trading? You always follow your rules. You never go on tilt. You never get undisciplined. You're just like you put that risk management in place up front and you never, ever, ever deviate from it. Yeah, well, I don't know Saudi Arabia's history, but I bet that land has changed hands a few times over the years. This is all so I'm so confused right now. Ahmed, for people that have been here, he's been I think here since almost the beginning. Very nice fella. Now he's just like he is going on a tirade. I don't know what happened, Ahmed. This is a very confusing situation. Hey, thanks, JVax. Appreciate it. I'm finally getting in the groove, and this week was 1K up, and now I'm close to finally passing my... Awesome. Good job, JVax. Clay, where and what do you trade on Saturdays if you do trade? No. Nope. You could technically trade cryptos because cryptos never close, but don't do that. Go enjoy life. Like I'm gonna be, yeah, I'll be here for maybe another hour, if that. But sometimes you got to step away. Now I know you're not saying that, but you know it is good to get away from the markets every now and then. Yeah, just some people seem really obsessed with the gold. And I apologize if I missed anybody's request, sir, but yeah, we're getting this is good conversations here for sure. Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. We all might make mistakes. Okay, cool. I agree. I agree. We all make mistakes. There's as Ian, we did had a couple. We've had a couple people though that when I ask them, they're like, no, I never break my rules. It's like, okay, come on, you're not being intellectual. So thank you. I do agree. We all make mistakes. Perfect. So I understand your point right now is, well, Clay, I'm trading these penny stocks. So regardless of if you're trading penny stocks or with a prop firm, like risk management should be in place. Agreed. But you're operating under the assumption that risk management is always going to be followed. That's what you're presupposing. That would be a fair claim, a fair pushback. But the reality of the matter is, which again, I applaud you for being intellectually honest enough to acknowledge is, well, no, we all make mistakes. We all have those bad days. Fully agree. I'm right there with you, brother. So now let's look at it. And you're going to see why prop firms make a lot of sense. So now we're going to look at it in a situation where both traders do indeed have risk management, risk rules, everything up front. Before they enter a trade, they have all that mapped out. They got their stop loss, they got their position size right, they got everything mapped out, okay? That is where that's the situation. And we have two traders in that situation, everything mapped out. But now we're going to have one of those, what we're going to also throw on both of them is we all make mistakes. So now it's going to be one of those days where those traders make a mistake. So the one that is using their own cash, their mistake, what does their mistake lead to? Well, let's just say it leads to 2,000. Now, it could actually be more because with the prop firm, your trade just closes down at 2,000. Like they're like, all right, game over. But when you're using your own real money, there's actually nothing there that would even stop it at 2,000. But just for argument's sake, we'll just assume that it stops 2,000. Again, we all make mistakes. Well, if you're using your own money, that mistake just cost you $2,000 out of your pocket. In the prop firm world, what did that cost you? Well, it did mean you lost your account. We all make mistakes. You made a mistake. You lost your account. But how much money out of your pocket did you lose? Well, you lost $119. So do you see, Ian, how prop firms are also a great risk protection in terms of protecting us against ourselves? Because per your own admission, we all have those days where we all make mistakes. So I would rather have, and the math suggests that a mistake day is way more efficient if that mistake costs you $119 as opposed to $2,000. Unless it's a $2,000, yeah. Well, and yeah, then that's the other thing is if it's that's a whole nother discussion. But if it's a $2,000 account, then yeah, your account is totally gone. Okay, Ian, but okay, that's again, Ian, I'm not saying you can't make money doing those other things. I'm saying you're working inefficiently. You're taking on a whole lot of risk. So you keep telling me, yeah, but I did this and make money. I've already conceded. You can indeed make money doing other things. I'm trying to show you, mathematically speaking, how you're actually going about it inefficiently because you're taking on too much risk. Because, yeah, I mean, to think that you, like SBET, like that's such a, I mean, like eventually one of those is going to bite you, and those things bite hard, especially when you start to get stuck in the the halts and stuff like that. But yes, some people will be like, well, I don't do prop firms because all the rules make it hard. And it's like, wait a second, let's take a step back. Prop firms don't make trading hard. Trading is hard because trading is just literally hard. Like that has nothing to do with the prop firms. Trading is just hard in general. Exactly, JVax. It also makes some of the fear and emotion softer. Yes, and it's a cliche saying, but it's actually a really accurate saying. Scared money don't make money. And if you're trading scared, yeah, you're just not going to make money. You're gonna cut winners way too soon. It's just. But to his point, yeah, when you know that your risk is actually your monetary risk is in all actuality $119, it's easier to trade without fear. Now you want to make sure that doesn't turn you into a degenerate gambler. You don't want the pendulum to swing too far, but it does, take some pressure off your shoulders. I did see that. Feel free to copy and paste a message if I've not addressed it, because I'm getting quite a few. Hey, I got another question. If politicians and people with insider knowledge often make big profits from their trades, and these trades are public, why don't more people just because right now, Game God, don't quote me on the exact timing, but I think that a politician has to report within like 30 days. I think, which is ridiculous because after 30 days in the market, it's like, what in the world? So I personally don't have anything per se. Now I'm still open to having my mind changed, but I don't personally have a problem with the politicians and stuff. But with the technology that exists, like it should be like there should be a site, and like as soon as that politician buys something, like it should be like instantaneous. Such and such politician just purchased whatever they've just purchased and the quantity size. Like, okay, maybe not real time, but I don't know. Surely within like an hour, technology in this day and age should be able to transpose that information. At that point, I don't really have a problem with it. Maybe, and I haven't thought thoroughly, so maybe I have some blind spots, which I'm open to hear about. But that's kind of my general idea on all that. Also, they don't report. They only get a tiny fine. Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't know about that. Okay. Really? Okay. I just assumed they did report. But yes, from a math point, it's like, well, if my fine is $1,000, but this by not reporting can cause me to make 10 million, I'm going to go ahead and take that fine. Yeah. Looks like Daniel and Alpine are helping out with Basi. Appreciate that. Appreciate the cover fire. Again, if I have not addressed your comment, feel free to copy and paste it. I'm trying to go back and make sure that I didn't miss anything. Is that how it works over in the UK? But Ian, do you at least see what I'm saying here? Do you understand how when you do have those bad days within the prop firm, you're protected? Do you at least understand the math? Because I don't think you're going to change your mind. That's fine. But you'll eventually be in futures with the prop firm. I guarantee it with the stuff you're trading. Because it'll just take one for you to get stuck in a halt, stuck in a rug pull, and you're going to be like, holy smokes, there just went all my gains. Many of us have been there. I used to trade those stocks. I know how that goes. And the worst part about those stocks is that, like a halt, like quite literally, you have lost control of the trade. Like there's very few situations where I lose sympathy for a trader because, well, technically I'm stuck in this. What do you mean you're stuck? Like, is your broker, are they, well, you should probably sue your broker because I can't believe they're not letting you cut the loss. Well, no, I'm not stuck. I just, what they're saying is I refuse to, I refuse to cut the loss. But like in a halt, you literally have zero control anymore. Yeah, let me see. Let me show you what some of you may not even know what like a halt BCEA was. That it? What was the SBE? What was the one that went crazy? SBET. All right, SBET. Okay, yeah. So right here, price started to come down, and then you notice the close of this candle is here, and then for those of you that understand candles, the open of the next candle is down here. Yeah, that's because in the middle of this move, so people could have been buying the dip right there, and then the stock just halted. Like it literally it stops moving. So people that bought, maybe they thought they had a stop loss right here or something like that. Well, when this opened up, it opened up down here. So they bought here and it was out of their hands. They couldn't get out. The first opportunity they had to get out was way down there all of a sudden. And that is the danger of these halts is you lose complete control. But look at this thing. This thing made a huge move. Yeah, I'm telling you, futures make these things look like paint drying. If you don't believe me, go buy 10 NQ contracts, then come back. Don't do that. Well, if you're going to do it in a prop firm because you're going to be like, whoa, because you're either going to make a whole lot of money very quickly or you're going to get just kicked in the face. But these things, and I get it. People are like, well, no, low float, penny stocks, small caps are great. I know, I was there. I'm telling you, futures, they move. And it's something for the future. All right, well, as thought, Ian's just going to have to get kicked in the teeth. Just, Ian, just when you give back all your gains or a vast majority of them, just remembered. And I'm not trying to like, oh, what a hater. I'm telling you, man, we've all been there. We've all been there. Exact. What, Ian? Read what Alpine right below you, right there. That's exactly it. If I could, like let me. I am with Alpine. I don't remember some of these videos I've done over the years, but there have been things what Alpine just said where it's like a great month, and then like not even one day, one trade. It ruined everything. I'd love to be able to show, because I haven't, but I have so many. If you're new to the live stream, the channel's been around since 2013. So I have like literally thousands of videos. So, and I don't remember, I don't know, let's see, ruined month? Would that bring it up? No, that's not the one I was looking for. What was this? No. I don't know. But what he says is absolutely true. Like, I have 100% been there. You have like a great streak, you have a great whatever, and then it's just that one trade, that one day. That's not, I don't know. Maybe it's one of these. Oh, there. Okay, here's one of them. Okay. Yeah. So right here, right here. Now this isn't totally applicable, but this is one of the trade, or this is maybe I'll see. Okay, yeah. Maybe the bar chart. Oh, and here's the other thing that I want to point out real quick too. That is just amazing. Is that, and I don't say any of this to brag, but like during this phase, it would really drive me nuts. Like, okay, cool, Clay, good story, but like, who has that? Like, most people don't have that capital. Because right here, this was the size of my account that I was using. Again, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying, like, it's really detached. Like, there's so much capital required to be day trading stocks and stuff like that. Where now you could literally become, again, even just from with the pattern day trader rule, you need $25,000 to overcome the pattern day trader rule. Where with futures in a prop firm, you could literally become a day trader. A day trader being defined as somebody that buys and sells as much as they want every single day. You could literally do that for as little as $105 because there's no pattern day trading rule in futures. So, I mean, just like I so wish this was around when I got back in the markets back in 2006. But there, as far as I'm aware, this was not around. But anyways, so back to Alpine's point. Yeah, so the image just does a better job. But like, think about that. Look at how many of these bars wiped away. Like this one. Like that. I mean, it just wiped away so many days. One trade. So many days. That gone, that gone, that gone. That one gone, that one gone. You know, probably all these ones. I mean, it's crazy how much one day can. Now, this one didn't send me totally red. It was still a group. But the point is, all it takes is one, and it can completely just spin your head around. I had $4,000 at the end of last week, and Monday I lost, oh no, $3,500. Pretty much deleted the entire week in one day. Okay, well, you know what? So at least those are in the prop firm world, though. Assuming I'm understanding that right. Alpine. There you go. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, that was just... I thought I tagged you. Let me try again. There you go. I sent him your live. Told her to watch it and go get TPT. Hey, thank you. Yes, use code... I have a feeling she'll feed your kids soon. Good. The joke around here is I do have 6 kids. So if you want my kids to eat, you got to use code Clay when you sign up. But you get something out of it. You get 30% off, no activation fee. So you do get something out of it, but my kids will eat. If you do not use code Clay, my kids have to eat sand tonight. All right, well, Ahmed is gone, so maybe Ahmed is cooling down a little bit. That's good. I like Ahmed. I don't know what got into him. But good. All right. Well, these are good discussions. I'm glad hopefully people are learning. We had some people interested, but hopefully people are seeing how this all makes sense. I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying that you can't make money day trading stocks, options, Forex, or crypto. What I am saying is you're going about day trading inefficiently. That's all I'm saying. And all this is mathematically provable, as I've been showing. It's better than well, yeah. It would be rocks, but then rocks will send them to the dentist, and now I can't pay for the dentist. What's your pocket options? I don't know what pocket. Isn't that like binary options? Oh, sorry, Bisty. I thought your question was answered. I thought I saw some other people answering. Okay, Alpine. All right. Oh, man. All right. Thank you, Alpine. All right. So Alpine just emailed me this over. So this is what we're talking about. Again, Ian is saying, well, Clay, I understand what you're saying is you're using your own money. And, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because as long as a trader is using good risk management, then like who cares? Because both traders are using good risk management. Yeah, but that is presupposing, that is making a very unrealistic assumption that both traders are always going to be the flawless trader that always, that never makes any mistakes. But right here, this is what Alpine is saying. What I'm saying is, I don't know if we can. Can everybody see those numbers? Good or no? Oh, wait, never mind. Let me do this. Hold on, everybody. There we go. Oh, this just sends quivers down my spine. Oh, I don't know if that really made much of a difference there. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking. Okay. So look at this. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to be disciplined. Yeah, and Alpine, look at this. Great discipline. Uh-oh. Had some of those mistake days. And, yeah, like just like that. Still a profitable month. So that's what I mean. There's nobody saying you can't make money. But now let's transcribe this to the prop firm world. Let's say that with the prop firm, he'd pass and he's using, now this isn't an exact, but it'll illustrate the mathematical point. So let's just say that he spent $200 for the prop firm. Okay? So that was his risk, $200, and then he in that first week had $4,000. Okay. So the nice thing here is that with the prop firm, he would now have, let's just call it $4,000 sent to his bank account. So he, in prop firm terms, had a $4,000 payout. But the $4,000 is in his account. And then these days take place, and let's just do some quick math here. 5, so that's about $1,600. So about $1,800. So $1,800 right here. And you know what? He's like, all right, let me get that. Let me get a payout. Let me request the payments. And that's sent to him. So we've had $4,000 from that first week paid to him, and then he had $1,800 from this next week paid to him. So he's at $5,800 that he has sent to his account. Now, how much did he pay for all this? How much does he actually have at risk? Is it $5,800 at risk? No, it's not. Why is it not at risk? It's not in his account anymore. He sent it somewhere else. His all-in risk right now is just $200 because that's all he actually paid for the prop firm account or accounts, however you want to look at it. And then this happens. Ba-boom. Now, what actually happens had he been in a prop firm? Well, he lost his prop firm. He lost his prop firm account, which was $200. So he lost his $200 account. That's gone. But guess what? He still made the $5,800. So he had $200 at risk the whole time. So a $200 investment to make $5,800, that's a pretty good ROI. Whereas this was not the case for him because at this point he was not in prop firms. So those trades actually still did affect him. So instead of having $5,800 in that period, he made a whopping $1,500. And it could have been more because he went in another groove again. But that's what we're trying to say, Ian, is you can make money doing other things, but per your own admission, everybody has those bad days. Everybody makes mistakes. And it's just inefficient to go about that in that manner when there's another way to go about it. See, I don't know. I don't know if I totally agree with that. If you're great at stocks, just stick with it. I don't know. But if you're great at stocks, well, I guess it depends. Because I'm thinking, let me put it this way. If you're great at momentum stocks, I would argue to stick with momentum stocks doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you will get way more momentum in futures. To me, although at the end of the day, I'm all about risk control, risk management. So even if you're great at stocks, I'm sorry, but we're all human beings. We're going to have those bad days. And it's how much do you want that bad day to affect you? Do you want that bad day potentially affect you with thousands and thousands of dollars? Or do you want or do you want it to affect you with just a couple $100s? Because I appreciate the word. You're great at stocks. You're not perfect at stocks. So my contention becomes, well, what happens when you're not, when you have those moments? How much does that affect you? But prop firm teaches you a risk management system. Yes, Brandy, exactly. And that's why it's right here. Some people complain about this, but it's just like, no. One of the reasons why prop firms are great, especially if you're a beginner just getting started, is they will force upon you these rules. Well, I want to go do whatever I want. Okay, go do whatever you want and let me know how long you last as a trader. Here's a spoiler, it won't be very long. So yes, there will be rules, but you know what these rules will force you to do? Force you to focus on risk management, risk control, all the stuff that actually matters. And maybe I'm a total stranger to you. So if that's the case, don't believe me at all. Go find a trader you trust and ask him, hey, this really beautiful looking man on the internet said that risk control matters the most. Not how much you make, not how much anything, because a blind, drunk monkey can get lucky and make money, okay? Trading is about what you do when you're wrong. How do you handle risk? How do you manage risk? How are you focused on risk? Ask him does risk management, is that the most important thing? And any trader is like, yeah, at the core, it's very boring to talk about. Don't get me wrong. It's way more exciting and better to talk about making money and all that sort of stuff. But the boring stuff is what matters, and that's risk management. And that's what these rules are designed to do. Force you to focus on the boring stuff. So some people I've had a couple people try to argue against Pam's plan. Yeah, but prop firms put all those rules on you. Yeah, rules that are forcing you to focus on risk management. Explain to me how being forced to focus on risk management is a bad thing. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm telling you, Pam's plan, it's a very difficult argument in fact, it's an undefeated argument in the category of day trading. Because options, for example, I'd have nothing against options. Cool things can be done in the world of swing trading. Cool things can be done in the world of investing with options, covered calls, cash secured puts. But in the category of day trading, why? Why would you ever want to deal with theta when you don't have to? But yeah, thanks for sharing that, Alpine. That's a very good, real life example of how, yeah, I mean, you can be good, but all it takes is a couple mistake days and whoops, you just gave back a whole lot of your gains. We're in the prop firm world. You can lock those in along the way, and then they're no longer at threat. I agree with you, though. I have recently switched over to prop firms also, but trading futures definitely feels different. Rust, what did you use? Oh. What if you're just better at trading stocks than futures? Wouldn't it be better to... I mean, yes. I will say this. Stepping into the realm of just straight up theory and like philosophy, yes, in a theoretical world, there could be a case where that makes sense. But I'm just trying to talk about like where the most meat of the bone is. And the most of the meat of the bone is not on some outliers. So yes, anything can be made if you want to start to pluck what about this? And then you map out some sort of like kind of magical, mystical thing. Okay, fine, fair enough. So yes, that is fair. That yes, if somebody can just live like, listen, look at like I'm so good with stocks, and then I go to futures and I'm just not. And like they can show that their stocks are going up, and then their futures are going down, and they have all sorts of data. Then yeah, yes, of course, but the vast majority, or let me put it this way, the people that I'm targeting with this live stream are beginners that were like me. Well, not like me, but, and I've said this many times before, the idea of this live stream, and I know, I'm sorry. Some of you are like, oh, great, here we go. But there's always new people getting along with that. I don't care what you think about me as a trader. I'm not here. The point of the live stream is not to prove anything about me as a trader or anything like that. I am literally here to talk about Pam's plan. Like that is my main motivation, because there's so many people out there that don't know about futures, let alone futures through a prop firm. And Pam's plan, it just makes sense, especially if you are a beginner. And and I know this is now true because I've been live streaming about 4 months, but the amount of people that have come here and thanked me, hey man, thank you. I was stuck trying to day trade these low float penny stocks, and I was trying to find these short squeezes, but I was getting dumped on. We have some people, a lot of people formerly day trading options. Theta is so annoying. I couldn't make it work because of Theta. I want to be a day trader, but I only get 3 day trades every 5 days because I'm stuck with the pattern day trading rule. All sorts of stories that have come back and said, hey, Clay, thank you so much. What was it? Last Thursday, somebody came back. In fact, I don't know if I have that screenshot. No. But somebody's like, game changer. Future's been a game changer for me. Thank you. And that actually, believe it or not, feels really good. It feels really good to get a thank you. But here's the cherry on top. Because I am also a businessman. I'm also running a for-profit business. And these people all use code Clay. Now, even if you don't use code Clay, if you want to go support somebody else, that's totally fine too. But if you do appreciate me bringing this to light, explaining the benefits, the efficiency of day trading futures through a prop firm, and you use code Clay, sure, you get the promotion, but I also get a little piece of the pie. So now I'm getting thank yous from people that really do feel good, but the cherry on top is, and I make a little money off of it. So, I mean, I think that's a good gig. I am promoting a mathematically, explainable. Like I said, I can explain this not through my opinion, not through logical fallacies, but literally just let's take a look at the math. Let's look at how the math looks, and let's think about which set of math presents itself most efficiently. And there you go. It's hard to argue against logic, which is all math is, right? Math just shows structure, and that's what logic is. So when I say that like day trading options makes no sense, I literally mean that in the literal sense. Like logically speaking, it makes no sense because I can show you the math, how it makes no sense. Because again, you have a 67% chance of losing in an option every time you buy. But point being, it feels good to be able to share a good quality idea with people. And if they want to use it, they'll come back and thank you for it because it actually is a good idea. And then you get a little money from it. Plus, you get to kind of have some interesting conversations. So there's other interesting things I'm learning about the live stream too. There's some characters out there. You can upset some people, which is why right now we're under a bot attack. So these numbers aren't totally true, but but a little over a week ago, I upset somebody. They said they had like 100% win rate strategy. So I was pressing them on a little bit. And long story short, yeah, I had to end up banning them because, but then that upset them. So now they're still bot attacking me. But besides that, it's fun. It's cool to talk from people around the globe, have some good conversations. What am I looking for here? Where did it? Oh, there it is. So, but yeah. I agree with you both. I have also switched over to prop firms also, but trading futures definitely feels different. What were you trading? Rest stocks? Hey, cheers, Alpine. Have a good week too. Correct. Day trading options is good if you're selling. However, if you're selling options, you better have a whole lot of money. You need a lot of capital for that. And a lot of people that are new, just getting started, don't have a lot of capital. So that's the whole idea there is, like I mentioned earlier, yeah, sure, there's always little outlier type things, but the vast majority of people aren't showing up in the markets with that sort of capital to be able to go and do something like that. Hey, JVax, thanks for stopping by. So good discussions. Great discussion on prop firms. And again, it's a big topic, a big passion of mine. And it is, like I said, the backbone of why I do the live stream. But on Saturdays, we'll talk about charts and stuff like that. So if you do have a request for one, let me know. I was trading majority tech stocks. Feels good to free up that 25. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, and I think what you mean, it feels different, Rust, is probably future. They definitely move better. They are moving better than tech stocks. Tech stocks if you're only, let's just say you're in a world where like, no, you have to. You're only allowed to trade stocks, and yeah, tech stocks would be the way to go because tech stocks are they have the most movement. But that movement compared to how futures can move, futures being defined as more so the NQ, the ES, yeah, that movement's on a whole nother level. Well, I mean, it's all math, B-Wigs. I'm actually, I'm a little shocked that the whole 67% chance of losing money every time you buy an option didn't already. Usually that's all I need to do for the options day traders. And they're like, that's true. Yeah, you're right, Clay. Theta is super. Usually when options day traders hear about there's another way they can go that allow them to trade something that moves better anyways, but this something that moves better anyways also does not have theta attached to it, usually that has them hook, line, and sinker. So you must have an extra thick skull. Your skull must be like mine, extra thick. Because yes, as someone that used to day trade stocks and options for a very longer than I should have, I know a stubborn donkey when I see one. But yeah, it's a mean case because it's just based in math. It's just math. It's just logic. And I am making the assumption that most people want to work as efficiently as possible. People are not necessarily wanting to work harder, not smarter. People want to work as smart as possible. And plus, I'm dead serious. Any of you options day traders out here, if you're like, but I make money in options, that is so impressive. Good for you. But like I said, ask yourself, how much more money would you be making? How much more money would I have made if I would not have had theta in my life these past weeks, months, years, however long you've been day trading options? PHAT. I just hadn't thought about it. No, that's fair, B-Wigs. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because that tells me that there is value in this live stream because people, like you just said, well, I never thought about it. Well, yeah, because you probably didn't even know to even think about it. Exactly. Exactly. So that's a very helpful comment. Bro, what do you think about PHAT? Do you think it's going back up? What are you talking about? What do you mean? I'm going to need a little more detail because okay. I guess I can. It started off today on Friday right here. It closed way up there. But coding phase, if I had to take a guess, you chased, didn't you? Did FOMO get you? How high up here did you buy? What was your entry point? That's all right. We've all FOMO'd before. We've all chased the price. How bad is it? Well, no. I'm gonna nitpick, but again, this is what we've gotta. Okay, you set up close enough, I guess. Ooh, yeah. You didn't quite buy the top. Now, you didn't get caught. You allowed yourself to be caught because you didn't cut your loss. Can we agree on that, coding phase? You did not get caught. You allowed yourself to get caught. Okay, cool. So just keep that in mind up front. Yeah, I'm aware of the hacking. Thanks. Yep. Yeah, somebody posted a message in the chat room yesterday. I've not get anything from Take Profit Trader, so I don't think they were affected by it or anything. But I am aware of it going around. But thanks anyways for making sure I saw that. So do I think it'll go back up? Well, let's take a look at the 30-minute. No. To be fair, I have no idea. What I would say is the one thing that you seem to have in your favor is you do have still a good solid green bar. You have great volume. There is still some components out here, but let's look at the 30-minute. And then right here, you're basically looking. That's an area right there that I think is, I'm not going to call it a do or die level, but change that as a sport. Pretty important right there. Because if the price falls down below here, then chart-wise, I mean, this is kind of just a big old no man's land. If the price falls under the no man's land, I could see that I'll lead into it picking up quite a bit more downside pressure. Why? Just out of curiosity, coding phase. Why are you trading stocks like this? Let me see if I can guess. You don't have a whole lot of money, so because of that, you're under the pattern day trading rule, which is $25,000. but you would like to become a day trader. Day trader being defined as being able to buy and sell as much as you want every single day. But in order to get to that point, you need to have over $25,000. So that is why you're trading stocks like this, because they can move quickly. And you're hoping to grow that smaller account into a larger account up over 25,000 so that you can then become a day trader and buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell as much as you want every single day. Am I anywhere barking up the right tree with that? I divorced Theta. We were together for 6 years. Oh yeah, that's a long time to be with Theta. That girl is toxic. I'm now married to futures. Hey, that's a good analogy right there. But yeah, that is an area that I would say very, very important. But I don't think venturing back up to 1175 is totally unreasonable. Because you do still have momentum here. You have it seems to be a nice little consolidation pattern here. That's going to be the key area of risk. So, in my mind, step one, what exactly takes place within this pattern here? If the price can break up through there, then I think you have a chance. Especially if this break right there is, some sort of higher volume break, that would certainly be a step in the right direction. Oh yeah, exactly, Ian. Yeah, when the guy showed up saying he had 100%. He said he had an algorithm, and I tried to get him to, tell us, okay, where would your algorithm, tell us when your algorithm says to buy and then the stop loss before the price gets to those levels, and he kept avoiding that question. I started a small account challenge. I lost 53K in 2024, made back. Oh, gotcha. So you could, okay, well, I think you should just flat out. I think you're wasting your time with stuff like this. I think a better challenge would be take the prop firm challenge. Start with $105 and see how much money you can squeeze out of $105. See how much in prop firm lingo. See how much payouts you can get from $105. I think that would be a way more interesting challenge. Have you been here, Cody, when we've talked about prop firms and futures? Because the mere fact, you can't even day trade. If you're only going to 3,000, you can't. By definition, you are not a day trader because you can't day trade. Because I know you know this, but you only get those 3 day trades every 5 days. So right now, you're not even day trading. Do you want to say before? Right. Yeah. So before I go really hard, big money in a day trade, well, you're not even, you are not practicing day trading right now because you're not day trading, because you're not able to day trade because you're only using 3,000. But if you were to change over to futures, the big thing for you would be right here. In the world of futures, that pattern day trend rule, there is none. So you can literally, because of futures, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell as much as you want every single day. And then you bring prop firms into the picture, and you could literally do that for $105, because that's what this prop firm, the one that I use and that I recommend, Take Profit Trader, is $105. Gets you 25K of purchasing power, and then you get to, I'm telling you, futures, they move so much better than PHAT. I know, it's but didn't you see the big move? I'm telling you. Futures move way better, and they make those sorts of movements and gains look like nothing. But if you want actually a cool challenge and one that'll help you to learn day trading, because you'll actually be day trading, because in futures you can actually day trade, you should be day trading futures through a prop firm. Well, a cash account doesn't solve anything because you'll still run out of trades, right? Because of the cash settlement rules. So sure, maybe you can get a few more day trades, but you cannot day trade as much as you want every day because you run out of cash. That's what I definitely need to have, Mike. Oh, I'm not gonna let you sucker me into that one, Mike. Not today, brother. I already gave my 87 cents on Friday for that one, but that's still Hey, Ian. Okay, we're making progress with Ian. You're in the UK, so it is open to you. So on that note, very quickly, if you are interested in Pam's plant, this is the list where if your country is on it, that's a bad thing. You do not want your country to be on this list. But yes, the UK is not on the list, so they are open because these are banned countries. These countries they do not work with. But yeah, they are open in the UK, and it's just the link at the top of the screen will take you there. Called Take Profit Trader is the name of the prop firm. And then yes, if you do want to get the discount, so the deal right now is 30% off. But here's the other part: it's 30% off and zero activation fee. What does that mean? Well, yeah, you get the 30% off, and this is universal across prop firms. But prop firms, you do the test, prove yourself, and then you move into the pro account. And when you make this jump, you have to quote unquote activate your account. So they have an activation fee, and normally with Take Profit Trader, that activation fee is $130. But again, if you use code Clay, not only do you get the 30% off, but this is zero. So code Clay really does give you it's a great deal. But all right, Ian, I'm glad you're and I'm setting aside all the risk control. I'm telling you, Ian, everybody here. I'm at 100% conversion rate. Everybody that was day trading, like those sorts of stocks that you're doing, the penny stocks, the small caps, low floats, whatever you want to call them, everybody, the people that were day trading options have come back and says, Clay, you were right. Futures are awesome. Futures are amazing. They move so much better. So just from that strictly alone, Ian, if you give it a try, you'll be very happy you did because you're going to be like, whoa, okay, yeah, Clay, Pam's plant was not exaggerating. This is a very real thing. This is a very real thing. So good. I'm excited, Ian. I'm excited. You're actually. It sounds like you're considering it. That's great. That's good stuff. I thought you were just gonna have to kind of get crushed, but hopefully you. Yeah, this cash count I started from 3K, got it to 15K in May, but took a huge risk on the last day of May and got SBET at 94 and held it when it hit 124, then held it on the way back down. Yeah, no, that's exactly, okay. So right here, that's what we've been trying to tell Ian. Like Ian did very well on SBET, but Ian will eventually have like those sorts of things. But all those can be avoided. You can protect your gains with the prop firms because you're going to be paying yourself out as you go. So yeah, Cody. So in that situation, coding phase, because you could have all done that, so let's say you did this. You want the 50K purchasing power, so you have 50K in purchasing power, that would have cost you 119. So let's say you spent the 119 to get the account, and then, you went through it, you passed the test, you go to the pro accounts, and then you got it, then you get this up to, now this, because you don't need 3,000. You had to start with 3,000. You don't even need to start anywhere close to, in fact, let's just do this for you. Because you're like, I started with 3,000. So you could easily start with 150K purchasing power. 150K, you start, quote unquote, with $252, okay? So you're starting with 250, just saying out loud, it's crazy. You would start with 3,000, but you can get 150,000 in purchasing power for 252. So you started with 252. Then you said you got up to 15K in May. Well, along the way, you could be paying yourself money. So let's say, I don't know, you paid yourself $12,000. Now, when we say pay yourself, that means you had 12K sent to your bank account. So that money is yours. Then you did the stupid thing. So the stupid thing within the prop firm world, and you lost way more, but in the prop firm world, you would have then lost 4,500, which means, okay, you violated the rule, and the consequence is not you losing 4,500, but they take the account away from you. But how much did you actually lose? Well, all you actually lost was the cost of the account, which was right here. But how much did you make during this whole process? Well, per our little example, you made $12,000 because that's what you had sent to your bank account. So in all actuality, you did the $252 challenge, right? You thought, well, how much can I turn this 252 into? And you turned it into 12,000. I don't know what the ROI on that is, but it's got to be pretty good. So instead of doing the $3,000 challenge, how about you do the 252 challenge, the 252 challenge? See how much you can turn that 252 into. And guess what? You will be allowed and you will be able to day trade along the way. Because what you've been doing, you haven't been able to day trade. You got to hold things overnight. You got to be very selective because you only get 3 day trades every 5 days. In this situation, you can make as many day trades as you want every single day. So coding phase, I think you should take the 252 challenge. Have you ever traded futures before coding? Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Prop firms are like a very, very good insurance policy. Yep. Loan with very... Yeah, I wouldn't even say a loan because it's not a loan. Like, it's just the insurance policy. Fully agree with the insurance policy is just whatever you pay for your account. Oh, stop. Don't trade on Webull futures because that's with your own money. We don't want to do your own money because futures move very quickly. Okay, well, don't waste your time with options. Options are in the day trading category garbage. Is it highly recommended to get really good in paper trading account first, then? Yes and no, because at the end of the day, you got to have some skin in the game. That's the only way you're going to improve, because when you have skin in the game, you're going to start to deal with the emotions of things. And you just can't do that without having some skin in the game. Now, the good news is it doesn't take a whole lot of skin in the game. You know, you could have as little as $105 in the game. And I'd say this with all due respect to people. I'm not trying to, downplay anybody, but if you look at 105 and you're like, man, if I lose that, my life is over, then you probably have some goals to focus on. You have some other things to address in your personal finances. But for $105, if it's gone, it's gone. But the nice thing here is, it's only 105. And along the way, hopefully you're learning some things, you're fine-tuning your strategy, stuff like that. Everybody blows accounts, okay? Blowing prop firms' accounts is part of prop firm trading. But the reason why it's not a huge deal is when you quote-unquote blow an account, it's not like you're blowing thousands of dollars. For this one, blowing an account is, okay, you lost $105. The name of this company is Take Profit Trader. But, yeah, don't do it on Webull. But here's the thing. A lot of people fall into this trap. Let's do this. Let's hop over to the NQ here. I don't know why the numbers are so goofy. But a lot of people fall into this trap. Well, Clay, I see what you're saying with Pam's plant. Amazing. That sounds really good. But, oh, brother. I don't know if I really want to learn futures. Or they're like, okay, I'm ready. Do you have any books? A couple of days. Do you have any books on how to trade futures? And I'm like, wait a second. I think you're looking at things through a false lens. So, this is definitely for coding. Coding already uses charts. So if you already use charts, then you are 97% of the way there to trading futures. Because if you use charts and your favorite pattern on stocks is the bull flag, guess what? Bull flags exist in futures. If you trade Forex and your favorite pattern is the head and shoulders, guess what? Head and shoulders exist in futures. If your favorite XYZ pattern is great, I don't know, the cup and handle is your favorite one on crypto, guess what? Cup and handles exist in futures. So if you use charts, you are already 97% of the way there to understanding how to trade futures. But here's the other 3%. So coding, I'm gonna quiz you and anybody else. So you are all welcome to answer these questions if you fall in the camp of you're really interested in futures, but you think you have to go out there and learn all this stuff. You don't. If you use charts already, 97% of the way there. But here's the other 3%. So from this number to this number is 8. Okay, 8 what? Well, in futures, things are measured in points. So 8 points. So the key way to calculate things in futures is to ask this one question. How much is 1 point worth? Now, depending on the contract you're trading, things are different points. But the NQ, which is probably the most popular thing to trade, 1 point on the NQ, so NQ, which is basically contracts for the NASDAQ market. NASDAQ, 1 point equals $20. Okay, so here's the question for coding phase and anybody else that is maybe thinking that futures are some really complicated type thing or that they have to learn a lot. So let's say a trader, they buy there and then they sell right there. So they made 8 points. So a trader future, and this is all just per contract for, so a trader says, man, I just made 8 points on my trade and I was trading the NQ. How much dollars and cents did they make? If we know that they made 8 points and that 1 point equals $20, how much money did they make? Again, this is specifically for coding, but for anybody else here, you are welcome to answer. Okay, I'll see if anybody else wants to reply. I don't know if anybody else falls into the category of wanting to get into futures, but they're like, well, I don't have time, or I don't know if I want to try to learn something, or I guess I got to start learning all about futures. That's what I'm saying. Wait a second. If you use charts, you're already 97%. So now I'm teaching you the final 3%. Exactly, coding phase, 160. Good job, B Wigs. Good job, Super Patong. Good job, coding phase, $160. Fantastic. Okay, we are now 97% of the way there. Let's say this trader says this, because all this, the 160 is based off of one contract. But let's say this trader says, man, I had 3 contracts of the NQ and I got 8 points. How much did that person make with 3 contracts? I actually might need a calculator for this one. Again, 3 contracts now. Exactly, $480, right? Because if these numbers were all based off of, so let's just make sure, how did we get to the 160, which you were all correct about? Well, you said that this trader made 8 points, and we know that each point is worth 20, so 160, very good. Good. And that was, again, per contract. But then I just changed it and I said, well, this trader has 3 contracts. Well, if this is per contract and now he changed it to having 3 contracts, well, let's multiply this by 3. And now this person made $480. So there you go. You now understand how futures work. Or let's just do this. Okay. So again, so NQ, and somebody says, I'm risking 10 points on one contract. How much are they risking dollar and cents wise? A futures trader comes up to you and says, yeah, I got 1 contract in the NQ. I'm risking 10 points. How much dollars and cents are they actually risking? How much do they have at risk? If they have 1 contract, and that contract is the NQ, and they're risking 10 points. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Well, all right. Okay, that now all right there. Okay, remember, 1 point is worth $20. This trader is risking 10 points. So how much dollars and cents are they risking? 1 point, again, right here. It's all right here still. 1 point equals $20. The trader says that they are risking 10 points. So how much are they risking, dollars and cents wise? There you go, Brandy. There you go. Very good. Good look. You're all understanding futures math. $200. Final part here. This trader now tells you that they own 5 contracts. So like, yeah, I got 5 NQs and I'm risking 10 points. How much dollars and cents are they risking? Again, the trader says, I have 5 NQs and I'm risking 10 points. How much dollars and cents are they risking when they got 5 NQs? I got 5 NQs. Because in trading jargon, they're not going to say, I got 5 NQ contracts. Contracts is implied. They're just going to say, I got 5 NQs and I'm risking 10 points. So how much dollars and cents are they risking? I'll say it one final time. I got 5 NQs and I'm risking 10 points. How much dollars and cents are they risking? Very good question, B Wiggs. I'll answer that for you. Yeah, exactly. Good. They're risking $1,000. Why? Well, because if it's per contract is $200, but now you have 5, well, 200 times 5 is 1,000. Exactly. Now, B Wiz, and this is where this is where a 25K. Now, somebody asks, well, how much do these cost? That's the great thing about prop firms. You don't have to worry about, well, how much is margin? None of that. You just know up front. So, for example, if you get the 50K account, it tells you how much you can buy. There's 2 types of contracts that you can buy. Very, very volatile ones or less volatile. So what I would recommend starting with is MNQ. And then once you get more mature, you can go to the NQ. But what they're saying is for $119, which gives you 50K in purchasing power, when it comes to the very volatile ones like NQ, you could buy up to 6 of those every trade. So, because you can make as many trades as you want every day because there's no pattern day trade rule. But within each one of those trades, you could go as high as 6 of the very volatile contracts. For the less volatile one, the M is in front of there. So they're both NQ, but with the invention of the M's, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago, that stands for micro. These are going to be less volatile. But the less volatile ones, you could buy up to 60. So that's what nice is. It doesn't matter about, well, how much does one contract cost? Irrelevant. All you need to know is that whatever purchasing power you get, it'll tell you what you can get. So on the other end of the spectrum, if you were to get the 150K, then you can see right here, of the more volatile ones, you could get up to as many as 15. Again, this is per trade, and you can make as many trades as you want every day. Or the less volatile ones, you get as much as 150. Okay? So that is how much they quote unquote cost is. Basically, you don't have to worry about it. You know how much it costs because, well, how much does the account cost? Now, B was asked, well, but how often does the price action move 8 points up or down? So let's take a look at these numbers right here. Let's do this real quick. So we'll look at this little bounce right here. So this bounce from here up to here. So can we all agree that hopefully nobody would say this was some sort of epically big move? Is that fair? Hopefully we can all agree that this is, what prop firm is that? The one that you see at the top of the screen. It's Take Profit Trader. That's the prop firm. That's one I use recommended. So, or at least B Wiggs. Can we agree that this isn't like necessarily some massive move? Like, does that seem pretty modest? Like that bounce right there, pretty modest bounce? Will you agree with me there, B Wiggs, that I'm not selecting some sort of huge movement? Hey, brother. Hello. I'm going to get there, Dave Pastor, but you were right. I just want to make sure that B Wiggs isn't accusing me of picking some sort of like massive move, massive distance. All right, I don't know if B Wiggs is here anymore, but he was asking earlier, but how often does the price action move 8 points up or down? Well, this what I would consider pretty modest. Now, a not modest move, I'm like, all right, well, let's go look from here up to here. I'm like, okay, that's kind of a big move. All right, Big Wiz says, yeah, this right here looks pretty, he calls it pretty regular. Good. All right, well, let's look at the numbers real quick. So right here was 21,780. So we don't need to look at the 21,000. Let's just call this 780 to keep the math easier. This up to here was 820. So how many points was that? There you go. B-Wig's already. So how many points was that? What B-Wig's just conceded? Yeah, that looks pretty regular. That doesn't look like anything special. How many points was that? Yes, that is indeed 40-point move. Okay. So let's go back to the math that we all just learned. If somebody had one contract of the NQ, and they're like, man, I just made 40 points on one NQ. How much dollar and cents did they make? 40 points on one NQ. As a reminder, 1 point is worth $20. On the NQ, 1 point is worth $20. I probably should have thrown that up there. All right, so if we had 40 points and we know that each one is worth 20 points, got to multiply that by 20, as all of you beautifully did in the room. There you go. $800. Now, here's the kicker. Here's where we're going to fall in love with prop firms. You're going to start to see the power. You're going to start to see why they make everything else look like garbage, including those oh, well, I trade small cap, low floats. Yeah, that stuff's garbage. Get the Here's why. So, and we'll just take this to the bare minimum. So the bare minimum of the prop firm, you would need $105. So for $105, that would actually allow you to buy up to 3 of those contracts. So let's now say that you took $105, which again, as the other reminder, is your risk. It's just $105. Whereas, well, I do small cap penny. Okay, cool. And if you get stuck in a crazy move, that's all your money gone. But in this situation, all it takes is $105. That $105 would allow you to buy up to 3 of those contracts. So on this, what we already agreed, or at least me and B. Wiggs did, he called that a pretty regular move. Pretty normal, which was 40 points, which was $800 per contract. But if you had $105, you could have bought in 3 of those contracts. So what could that move have been worth to you? If you had 3 of those contracts, what would that move have been worth? What would that move have been worth? Again, this is all just based on what was defined as a pretty regular move. But what would that have equated to dollars and cents? If you made 40 points with 3 contracts. Yeah, exactly. $2,400, right? Because if that's per contract and we had 3, $2,400. How much was required? Well, $105, because that's all the account was. And again, because there's no day trading, there's no pattern day trading rule or anything like that, you could go and you could do that trade again. Now let's take something a little bit more extreme. Now I'm not saying you're going to nail these, but like, so 735 up to, so what was that range? So again, 875 minus 735. So this distance right here, again, I'm not saying anybody's going to, play this perfectly, but from that move up to here was 140 points. That's 140 points. So let's just call it on one contract times 20. This whole movement here is $2,800 on one contract. Again, and we're totally in the theoretical world because I'm sort of assuming like you play this perfectly. So I'm not saying this is like, but I'm just saying just to illustrate the magnitude here. But if you had 3 of those contracts, which again only requires $105 to purchase that account, so times 3, that's $8,400. Not to mention this is a 5-minute time frame. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. So 90 minutes, an hour and a half, that move took. Could have been $8,400. And then, yes, as Brandy points out, the other nice thing about prop firms is what I call nuclear explosion growth is copy trading. So with Brandy, all right, fine. So with copy trading, the way it works is this. You could have up to 5 accounts at once, and then you can copy trade. So just for example's sake, and again, we are totally in the world of theory, but I'm just trying to show the scale of things on why I say day trading those low float penny stocks or anything else is stupid. It's inefficient. Because if you're doing copy trading, if you're doing copy trading, well, then that trade, the way it works is you make one trade, but then you can copy it to your 4 other accounts. So technically speaking, you make one trade 5 times. So in this situation, well, we made this one trade. Now again, this is not going to happen to you. Don't plan on this happening. I'm doing this to illustrate just the magnitudes of things and how it's really crazy when you think about it because of how futures move, and then you factor in this idea of copy trading. But let's say, yeah, you made this one trade, but then you copied it to your 4 other accounts. So you actually made this trade 5 times. Well, now we have to multiply this by 5, and that's $42,000 in 90 minutes. Now, your cost would have gone up because you would have had to have bought 5 accounts. So if you bought the 5 accounts, let's see, what's 105 times 5? Your cost would have been $525. So $525 you just took into $42,000. Again, I want to reiterate, you're not going to show up as a newbie, nail some sort of 140-point move on 5 accounts with 3 NQs. Okay, that's not going to happen. Hopefully you get the idea here that I'm trying to illustrate just the magnitude of how things can grow. But remember, all these numbers can work against you, which is why I'm not saying to just go trade futures alone, because futures move as we're illustrating. That's why you want to do Pam's plant, not just Pam's plant, because you want that added risk control and you protecting money. And you protect it because, going back, your only money at risk is the cost of the account. If you violate the rule, somebody asks, what is the trail and drawdown? Again, you got to prove yourself. A prop firm's not going to allow you to go just do whatever you want, act like a degenerate. No, they want you to manage risk. And if you lose more than $1,500, they will take the account away from you, which means, well, you're out $105. So there you go. Does that make sense, B-Wiggies? Do you see the magnitude here of how, like, in all actuality, 8 points is kind of like nothing? You're like, well, as soon as you ask, well, how often do these things move 8 points? I'm like, oh boy, 8 points is like nothing. No, Pam's plant is for day trading. Because if you hold just no, you're not. This is for day trading, coding phase. But that's what you want to be doing anyways, I thought. What are you doing? You want to be a day trader, I thought. Why you want to swing trade multiple days? Thought you want to be a day trader. That's why I did all this. You said you were looking at day trade, but you said basically I want to do this before I put more money into day trading. And I was like, well, but you're not even day trading right now because you can't. All right, fair enough. You're just asking. That's fair. You're just asking. Am I going to be putting down? Do you have to do eval for each account? Yeah. Yep. That's part of it. Yeah, exactly. 5 points. No, trading's hard, so it's not like any of this is like a magic pill. All I'm saying is that I just wish more people were aware of this, because from an efficiency standpoint, and let's even say this. So let's say you have, $1,000. Or let's say you have $1,500. Or, let's say you have $2,000. You could go and put $2,000 into your account and day trade futures on your own with $2,000. But because of this, I'm telling you, and hopefully you kind of all just realize that based on what I showed you, that money could be, $2,000 could be gone like that. And if you're day trading futures with your own money, guess what? Your journey ends. Now, maybe it's not one trade, but I'm telling you, within 5 trades, very, very, and if anybody here trades futures, please back me up here. Very realistic that within 5 trades, that $2,000 could be gone, just like that. But either way, very, very small sample size. You get maybe 5 trades, your $2,000 is gone because you only did PAMs. You only did futures, but you did futures with your own money. But let's look at that from a prop firm standpoint. So And we'll go with the 50K. So you have 2,000, but instead of saying, well, no, I don't want to use my own money, I'm going to try Pam's plan. So you go and you purchase an account. So minus 119. Whoops. Okay, now you still have $1,881 of your own money left. Now think about it. The person that's using their own money, yeah, when they take bigger losses, those losses are gone. But let's just say that the person takes a $2,000 loss. Well, the person that's using all $2,000, guess what? Their journey's done. What happens to you if you lose $2,000? Well, you violated the rule, so they're going to take your account away from you. Now, the nice thing about Take Profit Trader is if you want to try again, if you want to buy another account back, it's called a reset. It's actually only $100. So this 119 is just that first time. Then after that, you can reset it for $100. Well, because you're not using your own money, well, you still have money left to reset, to try again. You're using your own money. Yeah, you only get 2 or 3 trades and it could be over. But here, okay, well, let's get another account. So let's subtract out another 100. Let's say you make several trades, you're learning some stuff, but eventually, I don't know, you FOMO, you revenge trade, you do something bad. Whoops. You lose to 2,000. All right, well, hey, at least I didn't actually lose 2,000. But hey, I was learning. Let's reset again. So minus 100. You're getting several trades, you're starting to fine tune stuff, but then all of a sudden you go on tilt for some other reason. Boom, $2,000 gone. Okay, well, you don't lose 2,000, so all right, well, let's try again. So minus 100. And then this goes on, but each time you're getting several trades, you're fine tuning, you're learning. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. You go FOMO again, so that you blow up that one. Let's try again. This time you force a trade, so you blow up that one, but you want to try again, so let's subtract 100. Then, I don't know, let's just say Trump tweets something, so you weren't even behaving badly, but then boof, $2,000, so you want to try again. I don't know, what are the dumb things people do? What are the dumb things I've done? Then, I don't know, you forget, just something, dumb thing, minus 100, another stupid thing. So notice how but within each one of these accounts, you're learning because you're getting several trades, you're starting to fine tune. So I don't know, you do some more stupid stuff, minus 100. You FOMO again, minus 100. You chase something, minus 100. And then after all these tries, you find a groove. And you go on a little bit of a hot streak. And you get, in prop firm terms, payouts. So let's say you actually then now so you pass the test, you move to the pros, and you get paid $1,500. So plus $1,500. And now you then go and, okay, you blow up the account. So you lose the account again. But how much money are you at right now? After all that failure, all those dumb things, everything, you're actually, well, because you started with 2,000, so minus 2,000, you're actually $281 in the green after all of that pain and dumbness and all those. So let me be very clear. I'm not arguing that prop firms guarantee your success. What I am arguing, if we can turn this into kind of a sports analogy, is that it's more efficient to figure out how to hit the golf ball straight the more swings you have. If you're using your own money, you're going to have way less swings to try to figure things out. Whereas if in the prop firm world, based on the math you just saw, you're going to get yourself more swings. Now, that does not guarantee that you're ever going to be able to hit the golf ball straight, but it does suggest that you're going to have a better chance because you have more swings to figure it out. Does that make sense? Give me a 5 if that makes sense, because I don't want anybody to walk away saying, this guy says prop firms are guaranteed. I'm just saying it gives you more swings to try to hit that golf ball straight. That's all I'm saying. The more swings you have, still doesn't guarantee anything, but it does logically suggest that you have a better chance to figure it out because, well, you have more chances. You have more swings. So that is, again, an argument of efficiency of learning. So that's what I'm telling you. Pam's plan I'm telling you, it's a very efficient argument. Again, for one final time, none of this is guaranteed to turn you into a successful trader because trading is hard. All I'm saying is from a learning efficiency, you're going to get more swings. You're going to get more opportunity to figure out how to hit that golf ball straight. So I'm just wondering, because you got me looking at these charts, MNQ, and I'm like, if I could hold it for 3 to 4 days. You don't need to do that, though. Dude. Or you could just, day trade. You could make way more than 600 points, like just by day trading it day by day. But you're a greedy savage, man. If you want to try to like hold for 600 points, you don't need to do that. You don't need to get 600 points. But I know what you mean though. They're like, whoa, man. But no, prop firms are not going to allow you to do that. Prop firms are for day traders. Because the thing is, coding, remember, that goes against you too, right? You get stuck in the wrong side of something, you could be down 600 points. Oh no, yeah, there's nothing wrong with 600 points. I'm just saying that with futures, you don't need 600 points to be making good money. But I understand what he's saying. He's just saying, man, they do make big moves. Exactly. All he's really illustrating is this right here, which is why it's part of Pam's plan. So that's why I can, and then this is all come from someone that used to, I've traded small caps in the low float. Like I've done that, and I get it. There is this perception like, oh man, but those low floats, those short squeezes, they do move. It's like, yeah, but if you understand how futures move and how things are calculated, you're going to be like, oh. And not to mention, again, with the prop firm, the capital actually required, I mean, you get access to these moves for at most, so you get, at most $252 gives you access. And for foreigners too, this is why I love it, because people from the UK, Australia, India, and Canada. Oh, hey Clay, how do I get to the market? What's the best way to get to the US markets? And now I can just say Pam's plan. Because what's nice about Take Profit Trader is they're open to people of all those countries, so it makes my life so much easier just from that route too. So, but yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully that's been helpful to people. It seems like this was a crowd today that not a whole lot of people are necessarily aware of Pam's plant. But based on the questions and such, I hope I've convinced some people to do so. And like I said, if you appreciate this, if you appreciate me taking the time to explain and make you aware of this, and you want to support the channel, then yeah, code CLAY, which you see at the top, gets you the 30% off. And then it also saves $0 activation fee. And that would be appreciated. Again, if you want to go support somebody else and use their code, hey, that's fine. But if you want to get into it, then yes, please use code CLAY at checkout. During the checkout phase, there's something that'll say, apply code. Click on that, code CLAY, and there you go. Yes, I will definitely try this out. Good. But well, we are at over 2 hours, and I'm gonna move on with my Saturday here. I'm gonna call it good too. So I will be back Monday at some point. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because I don't know quite when I'll be on Monday. But I'll be back for Monday, so you can see some futures trading live, see how they move and all that good stuff. But yes, like I said, if you want to give Pam's plan a try, then yeah, please take Profit Trader, which again the link is at the top, or it's also part of the pinned comment. And then yeah, code CLAY, and that's a way to support the channel. So thank you everybody for your time, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.